Welcome to week 2. This week is really exciting because this is where you start actually preparing your resume. That is a big first step in the hiring process. So you've taken courses, learned about different allied health concepts, all of the different classes that you need, and now in the professional development course, you get to put the actions into steps to take your next step for your career launching. So as you know this week, as we talk about the different steps of the resume, which pieces to incorporate, and we specific and drill down on each component of your resume, why it's important, how it impacts your potential job search, and also always thinking about when I write my resume, how will this be perceived by the people reviewing my resume? So this week we're talking about two kinds of leads. We're talking about a warm lead versus a cold lead. So a warm lead, think of it as someone has made a connection or a potential introduction for you. Think of it as networking. We talked about networking a little bit last week, and some of the videos that we have this week will as well. A warm lead can be someone you might be connected through LinkedIn. Even if you don't know them, there's still a connection. It also might be your neighbor, colleague, friend who says, hey, I know a company and I've heard they're good to work for. So it might not be someone formally introducing you, but there is some kind of connection. Now, when you think about a cold lead, that's something where there's no human connection involved. Let's say I send out my resume, and large companies have resume software that scans, looks for certain buzzwords, and it'll either throw you in the yes interview pile or the no interview. So think of it as very almost cold and removed. So a cold lead, there's no introduction, no connection. You might be, your resume might be reviewed by an HR department or software. That's why it's so important to really work those warm leads. Work every connection you have. Think about all of the people in your phone, your email addresses. If you're just now setting up a LinkedIn profile account, you want to go in and connect with anyone, not who just may be at the same level as you in the job you're applying for, not just billers and coders or medical office administrators, but connect with those managers, those bosses, the HR people, because you never know, they might, when they see your resume, say, oh, I think I'm connected to this person on LinkedIn. It also gives them an additional way to kind of check you out. Say they receive your resume, then they can go on LinkedIn and look and see how you present yourself professionally on social media. We'll talk more about that in this course as well, but now is the time, if you have not already, to clean up your Facebook account, Instagram, Tumblr, any social media. You want to present that professional image. And it's fine on Facebook. I know we all connect with our family and we post pictures. This is a time, if you have any pictures or anything that could be considered less than professional, then you want to make sure you really clean up your profile. A good practice is to Google your name. If you Google your name, you will find anything that's tagged you or that you're related to. So for instance, now may be a good time on Facebook. Go in and change your personal settings to, I need to approve for someone to tag me in a photo. Maybe you don't want to be tagged in every moment that you have in your life. So think about cleaning up your professional image as well and what you're projecting in cyberspace. So as we think about crafting the perfect resume, you'll get a lot of practice in this course. The number one thing is just understand you're not going to create it once and it'll be perfect. You're going to revise your resume over your whole career. Every time you add a credential or go to a conference or participate in something, you're always adding it to your resume. So don't wait until you're looking for a job. You're going to use action verbs. You want to make sure that you're not saying, I helped someone at XYZ job. You want to be proactive and you want to project yourself in a confident way. We spoke about that last week as well. So in part 1 of your resume is your contact information. Very basic, black and white. And part 2, when you think about your professional profile, that's kind of that personal brand that you developed last week. So thinking about how to sell yourself in a concise, accurate, and professional manner. Just that 2 or 3 sentence statement, your 30-second commercial, highly dedicated, organized, passionate person in the allied health field, newly credentialed biller and coder seeking entry-level position at a dynamic physician's office, something like that. You're also going to list your qualifications. Now this week we talk about this. Never, ever, ever stretch your qualifications. It never works out well. Even if temporarily it does, it's just something you don't want to do. That can easily get you disqualified from any interviewing process. So list your qualifications and think about your transferable skills. Do you have computer tech savvy skills? Do you speak a second language or third language? All of those things may come in handy. So remember, we discussed maybe you've only worked as a babysitter, maybe you've only worked in retail or at a restaurant. You have great transferable skills. You've been interacting with the public. You know how to deal with different attitudes and moods of people. You interact with people of different cultures. You understand professionalism. So never undersell yourself on your transferable skills. So sometimes it's easier if you ask a friend or a colleague, hey, tell me the traits and behaviors you see in me that would be valuable to an employer. So that might be a good exercise to do as well. Then you're going to list your work experiences. Now, again, you only want to list things that you would be proud to list. And it's fine to put that you've worked at McDonald's or you babysat because it's all how you sell it. And that's what the resume does. It sells you enough to get your foot in the door to get that interview. I used to always say, if I could get the interview, I usually do pretty well in the interview. It's just getting the people to invite you. Without a lot of a work experience in a specific field, sometimes it's hard to get that foot in the door. That's why we keep going back to networking and using the connections that you have. So this week, you are going to work on your resume. You're going to download a template. You'll see it attached within the assignment, and you will fill in your name, contact information, and don't worry about getting it right the first time. That's what I'm here for. So we're going to work on it together. We're going to partner, and this will eventually be used when you connect with Career Services later in the course. So I hope that you're as excited about this week as I am. I'm truly excited for you to be near the end of your program and working to develop your resume, your cover letter, understanding the importance of thank you notes, all of the things that we're going to cover in this course. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing you in the classroom. Thanks so much and have a great week.